October 29, 2018, 6:20 a.m. Soekarno-Hatta International Airport, Jakarta. 189 people board Lion Air Flight 610. Destination: Pangkal Pinang, Indonesia. Flight time: 1 hour. The plane is brand new. A Boeing 737 MAX 8, only 2 months old. 6:21 a.m. The plane takes off. 6:33 a.m. It crashes into the Java Sea. All 189 people are dead. Investigators called it a tragic accident. But 4 months later, March 10th, 2019, 8:38 a.m. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Ethiopian Airlines. Flight 302. 157 people. Same plane. Same model. Boeing 737 MAX 8. 8:44 a.m. It crashes. All 157 are dead. 346 people. 2 crashes, 5 months. The world grounded every 737 MAX on the planet. And then they started asking, how did Boeing let this happen? To understand how this happened, you need to understand who Boeing is. For over 100 years, Boeing wasn't just an airplane manufacturer. It was the airplane manufacturer. The 747, the 777, the Dreamliner. These weren't just planes. They were icons. Boeing's motto was simple: safety first, always. Engineers ran the company, not MBAs, not accountants. If a plane wasn't ready, it didn't fly. Period. But in 1997, everything changed. Boeing merged with McDonnell Douglas, and McDonnell Douglas brought something new: a Wall Street obsession. Suddenly, it wasn't about engineering excellence. It was about quarterly earnings, stock price, beating the competition, and the competition had a name: Airbus.
2010. Airbus announces the A320neo, a fuel-efficient upgrade to their best-selling plane. Airlines loved it. Orders poured in. Boeing had a problem. Their 737 was old. Designed in the 1960s, they had 2 options. Option 1, design a brand new plane from scratch. Cost $15 to $20 billion. Timeline 10+ years. Option 2, slap bigger engines on the old 737. Cost $2 billion. Timeline 5 years. Boeing chose option 2, and that decision would kill 346 people.
The problem was simple. The 737 was designed in the 1960s. It sits low to the ground. The new LEAP 1B engines from CFM International were bigger, more fuel efficient. But they didn't fit under the wings, so Boeing moved them forward and up. This changed the plane's aerodynamics. Now during certain maneuvers, like climbing steeply after takeoff, the nose would pitch up too much. This is called a stall, and stalls kill. Boeing's solution? A software fix. They called it MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. Here's how it worked. If the plane's angle of attack got too steep, MCAS would automatically push the nose down. Sounds smart, right? Except for one problem. MCAS relied on a single sensor.
This sensor, called the angle of attack sensor, tells the computer how steeply the plane is climbing. The 737 MAX had 2 of these sensors, one on each side of the nose, but MCAS only listened to one. If that sensor malfunctioned and sent the wrong data, MCAS would think the plane was stalling when it wasn't, and it would push the nose down again and again and again. The pilots could override it by pulling back on the control column, but as soon as they let go, MCAS kicked in again. It was a fight the pilots couldn't win. And here's the worst part. Boeing didn't tell the pilots MCAS existed.
The 737 MAX pilot manual? No mention of MCAS. The training program for pilots switching from the old 737 to the MAX? A 56-minute iPad course. No flight simulator. No mention of MCAS. Why? Because if Boeing admitted the MAX handled differently than the old 737, airlines would need to retrain their pilots. That costs millions. Airlines would cancel orders. So Boeing lied. They told the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, that the MAX was essentially the same as the old 737. The FAA believed them, and they certified the plane.
October 29, 2018, Lion Air Flight 610, Captain Bavier Suneja, First Officer Harvino. 2 minutes after takeoff, their instruments go haywire. The stick shaker, a warning that the plane is stalling, starts vibrating, but the plane isn't stalling, it's climbing normally. What they don't know, the angle of attack sensor is broken. It's sending false data to MCAS. MCAS thinks the nose is too high, so it pushes the nose down. Captain Suneja pulls back on the control column, the nose comes up, MCAS pushes it down again. For 11 minutes, the pilots fight the plane. They pull back, MCAS pushes down, pull back, push down. They don't know what's happening. They've never heard of MCAS. At 6:33 a.m., the plane hits the Java Sea at 450 miles per hour. Impact is instant. All 189 people are dead.
The world mourned. But Boeing blamed the pilots. They said Captain Suneja didn't follow the runaway stabilizer procedure, that he should have flipped 2 switches to disable the electric trim. But how could he? He didn't know MCAS existed. Investigators found the broken sensor. They found MCAS in the wreckage data. They warned Boeing. They warned the FAA. And Boeing said, "We're working on a software update." But they didn't ground the fleet. They didn't tell P.